Thank you very much. Three things we are discussing there, and one is a time for everything, a time for sowing and a time for reaping. Problem is, most times we can be very impatient. We are starting a venture, we are building people, we are building a team, and that just doesn't seem to work. And sometimes when we are getting started, we have no clear idea on how long it's going to take. We have an ideal scenario where it would just be the normal process. You plug in and you get the results. It hardly happens like that, and that's why we are talking about shock absorbers. I've learned that if you do not put some degree of shock absorbers, that things might go wrong or not as you had expected, then you are most likely to be surprised in many occasions. And this can bring in a lot of distress, a lot of depression to leaders and people in leadership positions. We've got to be people who are realistic with our timing and allow also the nature of process. Yeah, somebody might want to have a baby the following day after getting married. It doesn't work like that. There are processes involved. And so this happens whether we are building a team, whether we are building a skill within a team, whether we are investing in a particular venture. There are things that will have to take time. And the longer they take, if we are patient enough, we are going to be strong enough, we are going to be wiser, and we are going to be able to reap the harvest when we are ready for it. Somewhat, life tends to give us the fruits when we are actually ready for them. When we are not ready, there is always some delay. For some reason, that's the way it works. And so it's good to be realistic with our goals, with our timelines, more so when we are dealing with people in leadership. Remember, this is a topic I love. Reality is different. What is realistic to me might not be realistic to someone else. But then when we are dealing with people, we've got to know that each one of us, we have different realities. And so we've got to know that maybe this is a bean plant, it will take longer. This is a maize plant, this is a mango, this is what, because we have all these people in our teams. The other thing is that principle of betrayal, which I've said we are going to discuss in the next topic, in the next chapter. And it will be, I want to shelve it for that time, but just get to know that in a team, for some reason, there will always be that element. And it's very painful, where what you expected to be done is not done, or worse still, everything is done against the mission. It has always happened. Jesus saw it. He only had 12 people, and one had to turn against him. So that one happens, and I wrote about it called the Judas will always appear. And we will discuss that next week. How do you even identify the Judases? The other thing that is coming out that we wrote there is knowing people for whom they are. We have scorpions, we have ducks, we have eagles, we have everybody in our team at some point, or at least in the society. And when we are going to relate with them, let's not expect that it is me, they know me, they will not behave like this. Somehow, it always happens. If somebody is a witch, it's just a witch. Let's know them for whom they are and not expect anything different. And that's why it's good to know whom you are relating with. You expect people to change, somewhat they don't change. People don't change because you want, they change because they want to. And they've got to really want it and take steps to change. But before they do that change, just don't expect that things are going to work. It hardly happens. It hardly happens. You will have people in your team thinking that you are the best, you will know how to deal with them. Somebody is a late comer, somebody is a lousy, is lousy in a particular when it comes to a particular habit or whatever. Just get to know that's the way they are. I've learned, I've related with people. Let's take, for example, lateness. Somebody who is always late will always somewhat be late. And you can't expect anything different. I remember a story I love relating when we were in first year in the university, and I think second year, we were going to record music. We are going to studio, and it was agreed that we meet at 7. So the people who announced 7 came at 9, and I was not amused. And I asked, why did you tell people to come at 7 if you are coming at 9? And then he told me, you see, I said people should come at 7. I did not say I'm coming at 7. Now, that's really unfair. And throughout my life, as we related with the guy, he was always somewhat late. The same thing happens with people who are crafty. Maybe they steal something, or they always want shortcuts. I've seen this even in, you'll get people who are cheating in exam. Let nothing cheat you that it is only in exam that they were cheating in. They will cheat somewhere else. They will cheat with their timing in the workplace. They will always pretend to be doing what they are not doing. So people for whom they are, for their character, it takes them to change. It doesn't take you that they change. And they will not change because of you. They will change because they want. So if we do not know who the scorpion is, well, but if we know, let's not just onboard them just because maybe they are relatives, maybe they are friends, whatever. By the end of the day, we will suffer the consequences. I think that is something I'd like to say right now. Thank you very much, Lady Noel.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Otieno Paul Peter. I want to know who is at a place where they can talk. I don't want to choose someone and then kumbe wako in a matatu or somewhere. If you're a place where you can talk, kindly just raise up your hand and let me know. Sawa sawa. So Melvin Lima, how are you? Will you contribute to this text?
Lady Noel,
Yes.
as usual, I'm late, but it's because of some other duties which I have to perform
No problem.
early in the morning. I've come at the tail end of this conversation, but I've picked a few things about leadership, and one of them is that teamwork is essential, and the other one is that you must uh, allow the natural course of your personal and business development to take place, and that takes time. Time and effort. And like you were telling us the story of watering a bamboo tree, one must keep watering it. And I heard Otieno Paul Peter telling Dr. Eda about tooting your own horn, or singing, telling people what you do in order to attract them to your value proposition. So I've picked several nuggets, and those are just a few of them. Thank you very much for having this session every week. It's a great way to start the week.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Elsie Kagimbi, can I hear from you? Can we hear from you?
Good morning, everybody. From me, was once you plant and sow, there's work for you to be done. There's work for you to do. There's work to be done. So I thought that was very, very important. And also having some degree of shock absorbers will help, since at times, after you have done all you should do, you may still fail to harvest as expected. That was very, very rich. Many times when you work, you've sown and you went immediate reaping, and you stay back and wonder what else to do, but there's work. That was very enriching. And work, W-O-R-K, World of Reliable Kids. I work with children. So for me, I have to be being reliable as I continue waiting, being consistent in doing the right thing as I wait for the fruit to start showing for the work I'm doing. So just keep pushing on, not stopping, and being vigilant. That's all I'm thinking as I read the book this morning.
Very true. Thank you so much. I think I really love the fact that Otieno Paul Peter had to write that at times you will not even get the expected results, which is very, very true. Let me just give you an example. I'll use myself as an example. So we started a shoe business with my sister, and when we started advertising it, by the way, people were like, "Oh, bring these shoes. We want shoes." So by the time the shoes were coming from wherever they were coming, I had like 800 orders. Let me tell you, when the shoes got here, whatever we had sewed in, and whatever we were supposed to, whatever we had expected to reap, these were two contradicting situations. I remember talking to Otieno Paul Peter, and he's like, "Noel, just start small and keep going, keep going, keep going." And one thing that he kept on telling me was, leaders and people in business and everything do not need motivation. What you need is discipline, because there are times when I honestly do not feel it, but you have to do it. So just like the bamboo tree, and like Elsie has said, you just put work in it, put work in it. I have to continue watering it, even if I am not seeing the plant at the top of it, and believe that it is going to give me the desired or the expected outcome. John, I would love to hear from you. John K. Rajwani, that name is hard. Mr. John? Okay, as I do not even know where he is, but Aduda, how have you been? How are you doing? Can you hear from you?
Yeah, thank you so much, Lady Noel. Allow me to make a comment, then at the tail end, I'll ask a question. Maybe
Sure.
anyone from the team will assist me on that. Now, I love the fact of the practical and realistic leadership. It really dawned on me that as a leader, I also need to know the personality of my team members, not even understanding mine alone. So you always need to know that the kind of people you're dealing with. And I've also learned that always do the right thing, however unpopular the thing or the action would be. Always, as a leader, always learn to do the right thing. The other thing is, as a leader, I also need to understand my areas of weakness. That's very key, because that will also help me understand my team members, and also know how to go about it in case I get myself into a situation that will warrant me to seek for assistance anywhere. Then I've also loved the analogy for the scorpion and the frog. It drove me to a point and made me ask myself a question. What happens in a scenario when you're doing recruitment, the team members you always get are only scorpions? Those who end up pricking the rest. So what do you do as a leader when you get into such a situation? That's my question. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Mr. Otieno Paul Peter will answer that for us. I have loved, and it's very true, we need to know the personalities of the people we are working with. And actually, they're not just personalities, but there's a test I was doing on online, where there's even personalities in the marketplace, personalities in the office, and the animal or the bird that you represent in the organization. And you'll realize that it is so true. You cannot give a lion tasks to do in the morning, because cats are not morning people. They're not morning animals. Same to me. I am personally not a morning person. So if you took me and put me at the reception where I'm going to be picking very many calls in the morning, my goodness, I will be a bit frustrated. Catherine Kiriba, how are you? Kindly, I've seen you're lifting up your hand.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, today I'm in a place where I'm not able to make so much contribution, but I've been able to listen in. I'm very well. Yeah, and it's just getting to know how we can improve as we plan to be better leaders. So that's all from me today.
Okay, thank you so much. Odhiambo Olale. Odhiambo Olale, I can see you've lifted up your hand.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I wanted to also share about these unexpected results. As a leader, you can do anything, you can do everything right, but it's not 100. There's no 100% guarantee that you'll be successful. You do your best. I remember when I got, there was a time my wife and I ventured into flower farming because of peer pressure when the counties were coming up. So we were told not to sleep on our ears. So we went into flower farming for the first time. This flower was called Moby Dick. Maybe even heard of it before. So we started it. It was very successful. We had a bumper harvest, but later on we realized that because it was dependent on the foreign market. Kenyans don't know it and they don't even bother to know about it. So unfortunately, we planted it at the right time in Kenya because we were using irrigation from the river next door. But then by the time we were marketing it, I mean, we were harvesting and exporting it abroad, it was winter in Europe. And that was our main and only market. So we ended up with a total loss because we had our product on the farm in Moroni area, ready to be harvested and exported. But then now what do you call it? Our contacts in Europe are saying that now the market is not only flooded. Many Kenyans have into that business. But then the Wazungus, their culture is that during winter, they're not very excited about flowers. Lessons learned was that that timing that we are talking about is very important, both sides in Kenya, on the Kenyan side, and then the market side in Europe. And then the other thing is patience and persistence. Unfortunately for us, we have discouraged, and most of the people in that who tried that Moby Dick thing were also discouraged. So it is one of those things that peer pressure can also make one, even when you're doing research, you're already biased. That's a good thing. So those are, I think, some of the lessons learned from this that yes, we expect make profits, but at the same time, we also know that the world is not there for everybody. It's just for some people at a certain time to be the Matibas of this world as far as flower farming is concerned. Thank you.
You're welcome. I really love that. I mean, it's a funny story, but it's very sad. I think one of the things that I've come to realize is don't do something because of peer pressure. Remember, there are also quails, and then there were quails. What else was there? There've just been so much, and then you realize everyone is going to that direction. Everyone is going to that direction, and then you go to that direction and you realize, it is not what I was thinking. Otieno Paul Peter is sorting some small person there.
No.
It is okay, OPP. You can just let him start training to be a leader now. Anyway, so OPP, among the many things the few things that you're going to talk, because I'm only giving you 3 minutes, is to answer the question that was asked here. When you recruit people and you realize that you have recruited almost all scorpions, what are you supposed to do?
Thank you very much. I love the discussion. And the other thing I would like to emphasize before I go on to that is that element of you have done everything you thought you should do. And then the unexpected happens. And that's why we need to have shock absorbers. One of the things I love saying is our results are as a result of two things: our knowledge and our beliefs. Let me put it like this. I love putting it as R is equal to T plus A, where R is results and then T is thoughts. The thoughts are composed of knowledge and what we know and what we feel, that is knowledge and belief, and then A is activity. So basically, when we are getting results that we do not want, we need to check, is there something we did not know, or are we not in the right frame of mind in terms of attitude? Or is there something we were not supposed to do but we did, or we were supposed to do but we did not do? So we must check our knowledge and belief, and then we must check our activity. Either there is something we do not know, or there is or we are not very positive or something like that, because that is what determines results. Now, in troubleshooting, we must check what could have been the wrong ingredient in the food that we are getting, and something like that. I know we are going to discuss much about recruitment next week, but here it is. You may want to check, where are you getting your people and how are you getting them, bringing them to the team, and then what process are you using? You will learn that sometimes it is better to lose a team member than to keep trying to change an ego, trying to change a scorpion to be a frog. It's not going to be easy. You cannot change a duck to be an eagle. If you wanted an eagle and you end up with a duck masked as an eagle, you may want to relieve the duck and keep looking for your ego, because there is no amount of training that will be able to convert the duck to an ego. The same way, there is no amount of motivation that's going to convert a duck to become an ego. So it's good to know what you are out for. Is it that your process wasn't right, or is it that there is something you did not know? But now that you've had the people who are not supposed to be in the team, you may want to change them. You know, you can work on competence, but you cannot work on character. Character is a very difficult thing to work on. It's easier to work on competence. It's easier to work on attitude and things like that, but character is inbuilt. Character is built over time. And like we said, somebody must be willing to change himself or herself, and it will take you so long. This reminds me, the other day I was remembering a story I read a long time ago, that somebody was walking in the streets and saw an advert written, we don't, it was for a restaurant. He said, the advert said, we don't teach our people to be nice. And this guy got excited about it. Hey, what does this mean? And then down the advert, it said, we hire nice people. Instead of teaching your people to be nice, bringing all the wrong people and then starting to teach them to be nice, it's always a shortcut to hire nice people. Thank you, Lady Noel.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for joining in today. Those who have not spoken, I apologize. Next time, there's always a next time. So guys, remember, we meet every Monday. The session starts at 7:30 a.m. but by 7 a.m. you can log in for networking, and the link is still the same. So the link is recurring. You do not need a new link. And apart from that,